I have often wondered if Christians were going to insist that God created mankind, why wouldn't they go back to the original gods for their worship? And while the original beliefs of humans centered around animism, I thought I would start to ask the question, why don't you worship? And I'm going to start asking that question with the Anunnaki. What is up, you sinners and saints, you heathens and demons? Welcome back to the Raging Atheist. I am your boy Nakasuchi, and today I am asking the question, why don't you worship the Anunnaki? Now, you might know of the Anunnaki as they have become a popular talking point of ancient astronaut theory, but they were some of the first gods of man that we know about. I have often wondered, if one truly believed that gods created humans, why not go back as far in human history as you can to get the most accurate depiction of those gods? But in order for me to truly ask the question, you need to understand it. You need to have an understanding of who the Anunnaki were, at least what we thought they were. The Sumerian civilization emerged in Mesopotamia about 4500 BC to form one of the first ever human civilizations. It would also create the first form of writing, known as cuneiform, etched into stone tablets. It is the discovery of these writings and figuring out the language that has given us some insight into these older gods from humanity's ancient past. According to the Sumerian tablets, there is a planet in the far reaches of our solar system known as Nibiru. Every 3,600 years, Nibiru enters an orbit that puts it close to our planet, Earth. This was the home planet of the Anunnaki, a planet whose surface and atmosphere was rapidly changing, making it difficult to produce food and therefore difficult to survive. But they could fix their planet using their advanced technology, alchemy, and magic. They just needed gold, and lots of it, so they made spaceships and set out to explore the solar system, looking for the gold that would save their planet. About 430,000 years ago, they found Earth, a living planet occupied only by wild animals, but rich in the mineral they were looking for. They settle on this planet, setting up their first city called Idaru, and bringing in their intergalactic slaves, a conquered species called the Igigi, to mine the gold. In the heart of this city was the Anunnaki's favorite place, a garden called Eden. After thousands of years of this, the Igigi would get tired of their forced labor by their masters, the Anunnaki, and would make the grave mistake of rebelling against them. The Anunnaki decimated the Igigi, completely exterminating them, but were then left without a workforce. The Anunnaki created a breeding program using what was available to them on Earth and began combining their DNA with our primate ancestors. After some failed experiments like the mindless giants called the Nephilim, they created their first man, Adamu, something like that, I'm not sure. Compared to human beings, the Anunnaki are described as very tall, almost giant themselves, and much stronger than us. They also had advanced weaponry that would make it easy to keep us subjugated, much easier than it would the Igigi. Over time, humans began to learn from the Anunnaki, developing their own language, building their own homes. The Anunnaki came to like humanity as well, even allowing humans to live in their city, Eridu, and even walking their Garden of Eden. But human beings reproduced too rapidly and would overflow the city, so the Anunnaki would expel them, even purge them at times. Time passed as they extracted the gold from the earth, but eventually, their home planet of Nibiru would once again come into orbit with Earth, and the magnetic pull of the planet created great floods all over the world. The Anunnaki, and some of humanity, survived this by building great ships. It's unclear if these ships were boats on water or ships hovering in the air. The Anunnaki decide to return to their home planet with promises of a great return. For this, they had man-built ziggurats, temples aligned with the constellations that would guide the Anunnaki back to Earth when the time came. They also leave the humans with knowledge of agriculture, mathematics, music, and writing. And departing taught them a system of monarchy where the rulers would protect their Anunnaki bloodlines. The Anunnaki have never returned. Neither has a planet came into orbit with Earth in all the years of our recorded history. But I have to ask, why not this myth, closer to the roots of humanity, than one that comes much later, one clearly influenced by its Sumerian roots? Why don't we see folks walking around worshiping Anu, who would have been the highest of the Anunnaki, or the goddess Ki? I am by no means a historian, just someone interested in history, especially religious history. I am interested how we in the modern world can follow such antiquated belief systems. I have never read the cuneiform tablets, do not have the ability to do so. I researched the Anunnaki, and more than likely some of the glamorization of these gods came into it, considering the ancient astronaut fad. I wrote a story to make a point and to ask a question. And the question is this: why don't you, the theist, worship the Anunnaki? Why not get closer to the source?